Welcome to the tutorial where I will be showing you how to create a login page using a Dreamweaver. Before I do that, I have to create a table in my database. So I have a database called university where I have created a table called user list. Here's the structure of the table. I have 4 columns: user ID, email, username, password. In this case, I will be validating using username and password. And as you can see, the user ID has auto increment facilities, which means that I do not have to provide this during the registration. It will be automatically done by the system. So let's go back to Dreamweaver. Here I have created 3 files, one called register, one login, and one member. I go to the register page. I create a connection using using my database panel, and DBcon. I have covered this before, so if you missed it, you can always go back and check the previous lessons. I will quickly do this because you already know how to create a connection. Seems it's okay. So I save this. I save it. It is saved already. So I have created a connection. As you can see, all the tables are available here. Now once this done, I have to create the form, which I can easily create using the insert record wizard. In here, I select the table. I select after inserting where you want to go. After inserting, I want to go to maybe login. After register, I want to go to login. But what you need to understand in this case is we do not have to provide user ID through the form that I will be creating. So I will select it and click on minus. That is pretty much it. I press OK. So my lovely form has been created, and I just now can try it whether I can insert any record using it or not. The moment I do not have any record in my database, so I'm going to create. But before we do that, I have to remember one thing. I have to tell you one thing, that this password field, if I write something, it will be visible. So I have to select this password field and then click on password, and then I have to run it. So this time password won't be visible. This is very important. So let's insert a record. Tom, I put some password, I insert the record, and once it's inserted, it should take me to the login page. Let's inspect whether our record has been inserted or not. Yes, it is. So since we have a record, why don't we create the login page? Now login page you have to create manually. So I have to create a form manually. Make sure that you insert the form using the insert menu, and the text field, the first text field will be username. If you can see, careful when you give the name and ID, try not to make any space between 2 words. On the label it should be okay. So that is the username, and I will be creating another text field called password. I will keep the same thing, and the last thing, I need a button that will help me to login. I have to change the name to submit to the login. So that is and then the password should be password. So these 2 configuration needed. I also want to change my button called register. Register in the register page. So this looks nice. Now once I'm on the login page, I have created manually a form. Now I have to use data objects user authentication, so it will help me to log in. As you can see, once I click on user authentication, it's picked up all the field from the form here, and once I select the database connection, it tells me which table I want. On this table I will be validating to username and password, so I'll be selecting username and password. If a login success, where to go? I said go to member. If fails, where to go? Stay in a login for now. So far so good. I press OK. That creates the PHP script for me. Let's save it. The last thing I have to do, remember, I don't want anyone to type the URL and get access to my member page. This should be a restricted page. To make it restricted page, I go to data object user authentication restrict access to page, and here if access deny, where you want to go, I want to send him to the login page or registration page, wherever you like to. So one thing done, but once a user is logged in, I also want to create a logout link so they can log out easily. So I go to data object user authentication user logout. When done with the logout, where do you want to go? I will say go to login. So these two things I have to do in the member page. Let's try out our login page. So first I give some dummy information. Let's see it's login or no, it's not login. But as you can see, I already have a account with, so I'm going to try that account. So my account username is Tom and password is 123. Try to log in. Yes, now you can see you are in the member page already, and so you can log out anytime and you can keep logging. But one more thing I want to show you, if you want to access to member page by typing it, the system will take you back to the login page because we have a restriction on the member page.